Going into this match with their heads high following that 57-3 victory over Namibia. Let's get the very latest now and bring in SABC News sports anchor Simon Burke. Simon, always a pleasure having you on the program. So it's do or die. From what you hear, Simon, how are the Springboks embracing this reality?
They're getting on with masses. They're putting their head down. I think under Rassie Erasmus, what we have learned over the past couple of years is that preparation is key, and he's very rarely gone into a match without some sort of a plan, and it's normally quite quirky. He's been playing his card very close to his chest, but this year alone we saw many different plans being put in place. So while we think that Italy are all about this match, they earmarked and targeted this match in particular, knowing full well that the All Blacks were out of the question in terms of a win. We've also assumed that South Africa maybe took their eye off the ball with this Italy team, giving too much attention to the All Blacks, and then also too much attention to who they might face in the quarterfinals, but it's not done and dusted if they get through.
Right. Look, Italy no doubt poses a huge challenge. They have beaten the Boks in the past. Their pack is very strong, and one of the forwards, I understand, weighs about 121 kilograms. So no doubt they will be well prepared and well aware, I guess, of the challenge the Boks will pose.
No, absolutely. Italy is absolutely well prepared. As I said, they've focused on this. They cleared their diary for 2 years, knowing full well that a match against the Springboks was going to be key to whether they progress in the latter stages of a World Cup. Remembering that they've never done well in World Cup. They've always been the third team in the pool, which doesn't get you anywhere. This year does get you qualification into the next World Cup, but that's not good enough for them. They're an incumbent team in the Six Nations. They have plenty of experience. They've got Sergio Parise at number 8, who's an absolute warhorse for the attack effort. So they have absolutely honed in on this match against South Africa, and we have to be very cognizant of the fact that in 2016, Italy beat us.
Yes. Now,
if we know anything from rugby, we know that teams that are nearly there and thereabouts, they need that one win against a big team to give themselves the belief in their own system that they can, in fact, play with the big boys. We saw that with Wales. They always came with the best against Australia. And then last year, at the end of the year tour, they beat Wales. That was the emphasis that they needed to take forward. And lo and behold, they beat them again, Australia, in the group stages. And that's exactly what we have with Italy. They have that belief, they have that collective memory, as I said, in the fact that they can go forward. And South Africa might just be that big fish that is within their reach.
Simon, we're dealing with this news story on Ibn Etzebeth. How much of a distraction do you think that issue will be for the Springboks going into this match?
Blaine, you're going to have to repeat that question. I can't hear you.
Sorry, Simon, if you can hear me now. How much of a distraction will the Ibn Etzebeth issue be for the Springboks going into this match?
Well, that's a worrying thing from what we saw from Siya Kolisi in his captain's press conference yesterday, is that he kind of parroted back the party line. Somebody had told him, this is what you're going to say when they ask you this question, and that's exactly what he said. He didn't put any other emphasis on it. Now, that could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. That could mean that they still have the focus and they're not letting this thing rattle you. Or that could also mean that begrudgingly he's just going through the motions when it comes to a management decision that perhaps some of the teams are not fully behind. Remembering as well that Ibn Etzebeth was one of Siya Kolisi's best men at his wedding. So that means they have a relationship, and for him not to express anything or even stand up and defend his mates, yes, in a press conference, maybe that's down to a legal matter and it's just keep your mouth shut. Yeah. Or, maybe it's because he doesn't really want to give out his opinion in public because it might not be the most popular one. But if we think about this Erasmus albatross hanging around the Springboks' neck, yes, it is there and it is present, and it probably is going to have an effect on the team. Because if it is down to unscrupulous management practice that they have taken a guy on board and hoping to cover up things, then, players are going to figure that out pretty quickly and sense that, there's a pecking order here and a special treatment for one and not for another. Because in the past, other players have been dealt with decisively when they broke team protocol. Now, this is quite a major case, and we also have to go on the presumption of innocence before being proven guilty. But the fact of the matter is, in a team dynamic, such as the Springboks, such as any professional sports team, one little incident to tweak the balance could speak volumes, and it could play out on the pitch. I mean, these are all doom and gloom scenarios. But as I say, from what we saw from Siya Kolisi yesterday and his very, very structured and almost staged answer that he gave to the Erasmus situation, it could indicate that things are not all as they seem in the Bok camp.
Various dynamics, various variables, one would say, in order to piece together a good performance. Simon, I know journalists are not supposed to give their own opinion, but I want to tap into that brain of yours, that rugby brain of yours. From what you've seen so far, do you think the Springboks will have their hands on the Ellis Cup in November?
I mean, look, that's a big ask, but against New Zealand, they were intensely unlucky, and perhaps they also did it to themselves. And that was obviously the match that everybody had been focusing on. If you brought up the World Cup, you brought up the fact that South Africa was up against New Zealand in the group stage matches. Yeah. Against Namibia, they weren't as clinical as I think I would have liked to have seen them. It was very, very much a stop-start kind of scenario. And we haven't seen this team hitting their straps, so to speak. So definitely against Italy, this is a credible opposition. They are going to put up a fight and they're going to ask questions in specific instances of the Bok game plan. So it's an ideal team to play. Yes, it's going to be an uncomfortable match because Italy are there to contend. It's not going to be a rollover like the Springboks' next match against Canada. So this is definitely the match that Springboks can use to their advantage. But however, they have to be on the front foot at all times, and they have to be vigilant to the fact that this is an astute in Italy's side, and similar, and I hate to say this, similar to what happened 4 years ago in Brighton with Japan, they may come with a game plan where the Springboks don't have time to adjust and don't have time to play to their strength. So if they can stay on the front foot, dictate the play, they will get what they need out of this match, and it will serve them in good stead as they move forward in this tournament. And then on to the quarterfinals. So to say that they may have one hand on the Webb Ellis Trophy, I think it might be too much at the moment. But yes, they definitely are a team to watch. And this match coming up now is going to be critical to seeing where the Springboks are and where possibly they could be.
Simon, thank you very much indeed, my friend, for your perspective. We will try to catch up with you maybe a little later on to get an update with regards to this all-important match, the SABC sports anchor, Simon Burke. It's one of the questions, the last question that I asked Simon in terms of the Springboks' prospects of, getting their hands on that Webb Ellis trophy in November. And it's a poll question that we asked our audience, and I've got some results here. 41% saying yes, they can pull through, and 59% saying no, kind of siding with Simon a bit. But I guess we have to be optimistic. Let's see what happens. Do or die match. Italy versus the Springboks today at 11:45 in Japan. Quick break. More news next.